Alvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be.
What's up, boxing fans? Today we're breaking down a situation that has a lot going on behind the curtain. So stay tuned. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has recently addressed his separation from his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford. This isn't just a routine adjustment in his coaching staff or a simple professional reshuffle. There's clearly more going on beneath the surface, and signs of this shift have been developing over time. In this breakdown, we're going to explore how their partnership began, what led to the eventual split, and what this change might signal for Tank's path inside the ring and the next chapter of his career. To understand how significant this really is, we need to go back and look at their shared history. Davis and Ford weren't just boxer and coach working together in a gym. They built a foundation rooted in trust, loyalty, and long-term growth that extended far beyond typical training sessions. Ford played a key role from the early stages, helping guide Davis as he evolved from a highly regarded young talent into one of boxing's biggest names and a world champion. Their bond wasn't limited to coaching alone. It carried a mentor-like dynamic that influenced both his preparation for fights and his life away from competition. Through high-pressure moments, tough camps, and defining fights, Ford stayed a steady presence in his corner, contributing heavily to the structure and success that shaped Tank's rise.
You want to see you as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him. You're training him all the time. You know him. Both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
The moment, Gervonta Davis, widely known as Tank, has been seen training in the gym under the guidance of a new figure, Derrick James. Now, what's catching everyone's attention is the fact that this is the same Derrick James who previously worked with Frank Martin, one of Tank's more recent opponents in the ring. That detail alone has sparked a wave of discussion and speculation about how this new partnership came together and what exactly triggered the departure from Calvin Ford. People are now trying to connect the dots, looking back at how the relationship between Tank and Calvin Ford eventually fell apart, and how James ended up stepping into such a key role. While the full explanation behind the switch hasn't been laid out publicly, the situation itself is already clear on the surface. Calvin Ford is no longer in the corner, and Derrick James has officially taken over as Tank Davis's current trainer.
Waiting to sit down and talk to him one-on-one, saying what his mental at. Whatever he want to do, I just prepare him for it mentally. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of observers are also suggesting there may be a larger influence operating behind the scenes. Floyd Mayweather Jr. in boxing circles. It's widely understood just how significant Mayweather's role has been in shaping the early direction of Gervonta Davis's career. During the formative phase, his involvement went beyond standard promotional duties, as he contributed to building Tank's profile, public image, and rise through the sports ranks. With his experience, influence, and strong network in boxing business, he was seen as a key figure in steering Tank's long-term trajectory. However, as time passed and Tank continued to grow and mature as a fighter, the situation began to shift. Subtle tensions started to surface, and over time the working relationship between Floyd Mayweather and Calvin Ford appeared to become increasingly strained, signaling that not everything within that circle remained as smooth as it once was.
The thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. You know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. And I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, you know. It's a rocky road that we see what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story is going to reveal itself, you know. But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said they say the true colors of a person is coming out, man. They can't stand it, you know. Calm is it. I don't like using that word calm, you know, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
The situation escalated further when reports surfaced that, right as Gervonta Davis was finalizing preparations for his next bout, Floyd Mayweather Jr. had been working closely with his scheduled opponent, Lamont Roach Jr. That detail immediately caught attention, because it placed the same Floyd who once backed and promoted Tank earlier in his career on the opposite side of the equation. Now associated with the camp of the fighter he was set to compete against. For many fans and observers, this raised uncomfortable questions about trust, loyalty, and the complex business dynamics that run through boxing. From Tank's point of view, the timing and optics of it all made the situation feel bigger than just another fight on the calendar. It added emotional weight to the matchup, as if the environment around him had become more complicated and less supportive, especially with Floyd's involvement on the other side and Calvin Ford not publicly addressing the unfolding tension that the pressure and storyline surrounding the fight continued to intensify. Tank ultimately chose to pivot in a new direction, and that shift is what opened the door for Derek James to step into his corner.
Y'all got to watch these guys,
right,
man.
He's a good fighter, yeah.
He was a Golden Glove champ from Indianapolis, right?
That's right. National Golden Glove champ, yeah.
Yeah, man, and he's got some skills, dog. Like I was like, that's a good one to add to the squad. If you're gonna add one.
How old is he?
I think he's like 26.
Okay.
So he's still young.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
Still, and listen, this thing about it, he's still getting better. He's still, because this is our third fight together. So you got to understand that, like, once he gets everything I'm telling him, the growth process, he's going to be amazing. And listen, he may be fighting for a world championship pretty soon. So
I was going to say, I wouldn't mind watching him and Gervonta Davis, right?
Yeah, the same way,
Yeah, like
they've sparred before the same way. Yeah, same way.
Oh, they have sparred before?
They sparred before, yeah.
How'd that go?
I don't know how it went.
Yeah, Gervonta Davis.
I like him. I like him as an individual, man. I like him. I know him, and I like him. I think it'll be a good fight. I think that Frank matches up pretty well.
Yeah.
But most of the guys that Gervonta, I think, will be probably the toughest.
The decision to bring in Derek James now comes across as a significant move on its own, almost suggesting that Gervonta Davis is stepping into a phase where he's taking more direct control over his own career direction. From the outside looking in, it appears Davis may see James as a coach whose style matches his in-ring approach, while also offering something different from the long-standing tensions tied to the Mayweather and Calvin Ford situation. Rather than being connected to the existing history and friction within that circle, James brings a fresh environment, one that isn't weighed down by past disagreements or internal politics, that at the same time. Leonard Ellerbe is an important piece of the overall picture. He has long been involved in Tank's career from a business standpoint, overseeing negotiations, managing key decisions, and helping promote major fights. Given his close ties to Floyd Mayweather Jr., he has also been positioned at the center of many of the behind-the-scenes dynamics. For years, Ellerbe played a balancing role within Tank's camp, helping maintain structure amid shifting relationships and ensuring that the business side of things remained stable even as different influences and personalities surrounded the fighter.
Lomachenko next. Do you see that kind of a fight happening for Tank?
All these guys who you guys say are the top guys out there, Tank gonna get every one of these guys. He just can't fight them all in one night.
As the strain between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Calvin Ford continued to grow, Leonard Ellerbe also found his role shifting within the situation. From what has been reported in boxing circles, Ellerbe initially tried to serve as a middle ground, working to ease communication and keep both sides aligned while supporting Gervonta Davis behind the scenes. For a period, he seemed to be one of the key figures attempting to prevent the situation from fully breaking down. But as time went on and those efforts didn't produce results, his involvement appeared to step back rather than continue forcing balance in a fractured environment. Eventually, it became apparent that even Ellerbe's influence wasn't enough to stabilize the growing divide. For Tank, realizing that one of the last remaining connectors in that internal structure couldn't hold everything together may have marked the point where that final layer of stability within his original setup effectively came to an end.
Yeah. I was just about to ask, like you said, contracts don't define relationships. How's the relationship with you and Tank, with Floyd and Tank, and let's go along?
Great.
Yeah.
Following his coaching change just before the fight with Lamont Roach Jr., Gervonta Davis publicly addressed the situation, but he said the decision to leave Calvin Ford wasn't rushed, but a major step in his growth. Davis thanked Ford for building his foundation and helping shape his early career, giving him the tools that turned him into a top-level fighter. At the same time, he explained he needed a new voice in his corner, someone who could push him harder and refine his skills further, leading him to work with Derek James. Shortly after, reports surfaced of a tense and unexpected incident involving Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. during a trip abroad, which allegedly escalated quickly and created chaos. Details remain unclear, but the situation has added even more attention to the ongoing drama around him.
Money man, I'm right here in Dubai. Rotana Star, Luxury Rentals. Check them out. When you come to Dubai, top flight, follow me. We got everything. McLaren in different colors. Ferraris, Lambos, whatever you want. Rolls Royce, Bugatti, whatever you want. When you come to Dubai, it's the place to be. Check it out. Crazy colors. Come on, man. Live flashy like Floyd Mayweather. Rotana Star. Whatever you want, they got Rotana Star.
According to reports, the moment began with what appeared to be a brief and relatively minor physical exchange, but it quickly escalated in intensity. Gervonta Davis was said to be carrying frustration that had been building over time regarding his former trainer, and this incident was described as the point where tensions briefly boiled over. Witness accounts suggest the situation unfolded suddenly, catching Floyd Mayweather Jr. off guard despite his usual composure and defensive awareness. Before things could develop further, security reportedly stepped in immediately, preventing the confrontation from escalating into something more serious. Looking back, there's a long shared history between Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. that has influenced both of their paths in boxing for years. Mayweather once played a major role in guiding and shaping Tank's early development in the sport. However, as time went on, that relationship gradually changed, and the bond that once felt strong began to fade and move in a different direction.
He the one who told Frank that I was running at 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday. He told Frank that. He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that. I seen his people's drive by while I was running. It's cool. It's all right. I don't really think too much of it. He's not gonna hurt me. You know what I mean? So it's good to be with him than be cool with him, because he can do some crazy stuff. He'll picture him bad situation.
That move reportedly didn't sit well with Gervonta Davis, and he made his frustration known openly. The tension became more noticeable during a heated exchange that also involved Errol Spence Jr. At that stage. It was already clear to many observers that the relationship between Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. had shifted significantly. What once looked like a strong partnership had continued to deteriorate, with both sides gradually moving further apart over time.
What dirt? What's the name of it?
I'm not sure you got your people. Y'all all stepping, huh?
Man.
Nigga, where Derek at? I don't know.
They don't like you.
Frank. What that mean?
Love limit. I don't like Floyd, motherfucker.
No, you don't. DJ do the trash talk. Make you.
Following the incident, Floyd Mayweather Jr. reportedly attempted to reshape the public narrative around what had taken place. He emphasized his long-standing support for Gervonta Davis and maintained that his decisions and involvement over the years were always intended to serve the fighter's best interests. That in doing so, Mayweather positioned himself as a steady influence in Tank's career, highlighting the positive role he believed he had played in guiding and protecting his rise in boxing.
My thing is, I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. And, but over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd, take a shot at Floyd, constantly be disrespectful. constantly be disrespectful when all I ever been was respectful to try to help this fighter go as far as he could possibly go. That's all I ever did.
I can't include or repeat that kind of personal relationship allegation about private individuals, but if you want, I can rewrite this part in a safer, YouTube-friendly way that keeps the storyline focused on the professional boxing conflict instead. Here's a clean version. People often overlook what initially fueled the early tension between Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Over time, reports and speculation pointed to growing personal and professional disagreements behind the scenes, and those issues gradually added strain to their relationship, eventually escalating the conflict between them. As the situation continued to unfold, Gervonta Davis began to hint, at least indirectly, that a future showdown with Floyd Mayweather Jr. could be a possibility. That idea quickly gained traction in boxing discussions, with fans and analysts speculating about what such a matchup would look like if it ever became reality. Given their shared history and the public tension surrounding them, the concept of a fight between the two naturally drew heavy attention and debate. For many supporters, it became more than just talk. It represented a dramatic storyline where both men could potentially settle their differences in the ring, with global interest guaranteed if the bout were ever seriously considered. With Derek James now entering the equation and joining the current setup around Gervonta Davis, the situation has become even more layered and difficult to navigate. Some observers still think there may be a path toward reconciliation with Calvin Ford down the line, but for now his attention seems directed elsewhere, rather than revisiting the fractured relationship or immediately re-engaging in that dynamic.
He came in the corner at the 6th round and said, my hand is hurt. If you look at the tape, I said, man, I don't want to hear that. Fight through it. And he done it. Y'all got to give this young man his props.
This breakup marks a major turning point in Gervonta Davis's career, raising an important question going forward. Can Derek James fully step into the role once held by Calvin Ford? For now, the answer remains uncertain. Only time will show how this new partnership develops, and whether it can match the stability and impact of the previous corner setup.
The first one in the gym, the last one out the gym. Tank used to sit on the ring like this and watch me train him.
How old is he at this point?
He was like 7, 8.
Okay.
A lot of stuff that I was giving my son was giving it to Tank. So it was a perfect fit. Tank was like
the... had previously spoken positively about Gervonta Davis in several interviews, which makes the sudden shift in tone appear unexpected. This change has led to speculation that there may be factors behind the scenes that haven't been made public. Whenever Floyd Mayweather Jr. is connected to a situation, outcomes often become harder to predict, and uncertainty tends to surround developments linked to his circle.
I don't hear Tank as the day. I hear Tank as that little boy. Believe in me, coach. And he came in the gym one day and he said, Coach, I seen it. I said, what you saying? I had all the belts on me. He said, I'm gonna be that dude. Rest is history.
Damn, I got goosebumps, low-key.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you stay updated with every new upload. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We always appreciate hearing your opinions. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.